I'm gonna make another paintbrush holder out of fabric. I've made one before. It was really simple, fast project. So this is how I'm gonna do it. So I have new paintbrushes for the paintbrush holder. I have some trim cording that I'm gonna use to wrap around. Now these are fat quarters. I bought 3 fat quarters because I liked this color, and I'm gonna kind of try to fussy cut that out. And I have some pieces of interfacing that I want to put inside so it makes the top just a little bit stiffer. So I am not going to wash my fabric. I want the sizing in it, and I'm just going to press it with some Mary Ellen's Best Press. Love this fabric. So I have my 12.5 by 12.5 ruler here. And this is just going to give me kind of an estimate of where I want the front. So I can kind of move it around and see. The last one I made was 13 by 13, and I thought that the size was really good. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot for that size. This is going to be my front. So with the extra fabric, I'm going to use to make the inner flap. And I just want these the same size. Round it on the edge. I want them to match. So I did have to seam on my interfacing a couple of times. That's okay, it's on the inside, but I am going to run a seam around here so it's just one piece. And I'm going to take just 1/8 of an inch seam allowance right there. Now I have one piece of fabric that I'm going to be working with. Last time I used upholstery fabric, and that was a little bit stiffer on both the inside and the outside. But I think that this will be just fine. I'm going to roll it up. Okay, so now my outside is done. Got to decide which way is top, like that. And now we're going to be working on the inside. So look what I found in my stash. Okay, how I did this before, as I move this all the way up. Okay. 1, 2, 3 inches between them. So I've measured my top, this is my flap, a 1/2 inch on each side. A 1/2 inch over, that is going to be where my binding is going to be. So I want to start my markings at that point. 1 inch of my erasable friction pen by Pilot. Love them. Fabric was traveling, so I turned it around and I'm sewing it this way on the last row, and it's favorite part of this process is when you get to iron all the markings off. I just love those friction pens. So I'm going to match up my front and my back. This is my front, this is my inside, my flap. So now I'm going to do the binding. This was 1/4 of the yard, which is 9 inches, 3, 6, 9. So I got maybe a little extra to square that, but not much more. Binding super easy. To kind of give myself a 1/4 inch or less. And just intersection to intersection. Drop my needle down and then just right there, and then so I have lined my seam up. And I just want to do maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to iron it. Seam's open. Fold it over in half. So when I put my binding on, I have to join the 2 ends. So I never start less than 6 to 8 inches. So, and I like to start on the right hand side side, I'm gonna go ahead and underclip it here. Not so much here because I have to do the turn. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you're going to sew however much you want to see it. So I like to be able to see my binding. I don't like a small binding. And then I rotate it all the way around. You have to make sure that you're over whatever seam you have, and then I can stitch it. And for me, on my cloth, I have the ability to kick over my needle, which I often do for bindings. And then it's going to be probably more like a 1/2 inch. 3/8. Okay, so this is where that measurement comes in handy. I'm going to sew to right here. Turn it to the end, so all the way off, but don't clip your threads at this time. Fold it back over itself, put it right back in the machine. Okay, now I don't have a lot of room to put this binding together, so I'm only going to take a couple of stitches. Now you can trim your thread, but I want to be able to join these two pieces together, and let me show you how to do it. Exactly 3 inches. Putting your binding together, you're going to put it on an L shape, but I don't do any overlap. It has to be exactly on the cut line. Right sides together. You need to find a flat surface so that you can make sure that you have the right angle. And I didn't quite leave myself enough room for this, so it does look a little awkward. But as long as I get this line right here, all the way across, I'm good. Make sure that no fabric is behind there. That's going to be fine. Then we can take off the excess. And this I don't iron. And if this is too awkward, we can always take it off. Scissors. There we go. And we have to put that seam right back in. Now it's ready for hand sewing. Awesome. So on this project, I've decided to use my cording as my tie, and I'm going to insert it right on in that seam. Bring it back so that it's flush, and then I'm going to sew that seam right over that. So here is my mark for my middle. So I'm going to come up just a bit so it's in the middle. It off with some beads that I found. So I put some tape on the end of my cording so that I could feed my bead through easily. Did a couple of knots a couple of times to hold them on. I'm going to take this off, and I'm actually going to fray the ends just a little bit here. Making things since I was 3. Creating is my happy place and my passion. My hope is that you feel inspired as a result of watching my videos and create something incredible. I would love to hear about it by leaving me a comment below and give the thumbs up for other interested viewers. If this is your first time here, I would love for you to subscribe because this channel is all about creativity and inspiration. I hope you feel inspired to create something amazing. Feel free to share the inspiration because life is a journey